In Project 3, we're going to take a look at the non-breaking space feature. And basically what this does is when you type things in Word automatically makes its own decisions as to when to wrap words to the next line. And so there are times though when you're typing in words or text that need to be kept together. For example, our keyboard shortcuts that you use in Word, for example, like Control B, Control I, those are all shortcut keyboard strokes that you can use to bold and italicize items. And if you're writing a document or writing a report pertaining to those keyboard shortcuts, those particular shortcuts, Control B or Control I or whatever, you wouldn't want those separated if they were coming to the end of a sentence. You wouldn't want Control and then on the next line have a plus and an I. So a non-breaking space allows you to keep groups of words together so that if it does approach the end of the line, it'll keep them together, and actually the computer will force the whole word to the next line. So in Project 3, we're going to take a look at writing a paragraph that does have some keyboard shortcuts within it, and we're going to use that non-breaking space feature to keep them together. And then once we get the non-breaking space applied to the paragraph, then we're going to go through, do a find and replace, and have it search for all the non-breaking spaces and replace it with just a regular space. And the purpose of that is to show that you can go through and find and replace special characters. So, with that, in Project 3A, they've asked that we open a blank document, which I went to already, and they want us to type in the figure that's on page 185. It's figure 55, and it's a paragraph that does contain keyboard shortcuts. And I've keyed in a couple of lines here up into the point where it says screen tip displays, and then Control-Shift-F, which is approaching the end of this line, and you wouldn't want that to be split up. So displays, and then I'm going to type in Control, and then I'm going to press Control-Shift-Spacebar. That gives me a space. And I also want you to see here when I turn on the non-printing characters, that non-breaking space is indicated by a little zero, a little degree symbol at the top. And then we'll put in a plus sign, and then again Control-Shift-Space, and the word shift, Control-Shift-Space, plus Control-Shift-Space, F. And notice that typically that probably would have wrapped the plus and the F to the next line, but it would have kept Control-Shift-F on the previous line. So you can see how that forces anything that has a space in it, forces those spaces to stay together within your text. So I'll go ahead and type in. I want to turn this off here, the show hide button, and I'll go ahead and key in just a few more here just so you give it a better idea of what's going on. Okay, and then we'll put in Control B, and then I'm going to use the shortcuts here, Control-Shift-Space plus Control-Shift-Space, and then B to bold text. And then it has Control, again Control, wow, I can't even type that, Control-Shift-Space plus Control-Shift-Space, and then an I. And you can kind of get the idea there. Okay, so that non-breaking space will keep characters, words together. Now, Project 3B gives us an opportunity to use the find and replace feature to search for all these non-breaking spaces and replace them with just regular spaces. And the whole point of this exercise is just to show you that you can go through and search for special characters and replace them with other things. So not that this is particularly a great example, because typically if you put a non-breaking space within Word, you're not going to go through and remove them. But this is just an example to show you that you can go through and search for or special characters and replace them with other special characters or with just text in general. So to use the Find and Replace feature, again, it's on the Home tab in the Editing group, and we're going directly into Replace, which takes us into the Find and Replace dialog box. And in the Find What box, we want to search for the special character Control-Shift-Space. And so to do that, at the bottom you'll notice there's a special button. Let me pull this up a little bit. And I might need to go a little bit higher. I don't know if you can see that. At the bottom of this, there's an option for non-breaking space. If you choose that, that puts that as a code in your Find What text box. And then the Replace text box, we're just going to hit the space, and that replaces it with the normal space. And then we're going to simply choose Replace All. That'll show that it's made 8 replacements. I'll click OK out of here, and we'll close out of this. And now you can see that those little zeros, the little degree symbols, have been changed just to normal space. Okay, so that's Project 3, taking a look at the non-breaking space and then also using the Find and Replace feature to search for special characters and then replace them with something else. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, and we'll go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to go on to Project 4 with this same demo. Project 4 looks at saving a Word document as a template, and then it has you going through and using that template. So keep in mind, if you, we've talked about templates before, but anytime that you are continually using the same documents or the contents of a document over and over again to create another document, if you just keep finding yourself doing that, then it may be time to consider creating a template so that you can use that template in the creation of another template. And I mentioned this before too, just a regular blank document is actually a template because it already has a set of fonts that have been applied to this document. The line spacing's already been set up for you. There are a lot of things that have already been set, and it's used to apply to every new document. So again, anytime that you find yourself using the content of a document over and over again, or the formats of a document over and over again, you may want to consider creating a template. So to create a template, we're first of all going to open up a document from our student data files folder called Summons, and you're going to make the assumption here that you've created this document. You find yourself using it over and over again. The only exceptions are maybe you change the name throughout it, or there are some other paragraphs that you might change, but overall you use the same document again and again and again. So with that, we're going to save this in our templates folder on the C drive, and then they're also going to suggest that we save it to the flash drive, or in my case I'm just going to save it to where I've been saving my student data files. I apologize for that. Okay, so to save this as a template, we're going to go through under the File tab, and there's a couple of ways I want to mention here. The book goes through the Save As, but just FYI, you can also go to Save and Send, and then change file type, and there's a template option right here. It takes you into the same place that the book shows you where to go, so we'll do that as well. But we'll click Save As is where the book indicates in Project 4A. And they first of all want you to save it in the Templates area. So in this navigation area on the left, we're going to go to Trusted Templates. And that puts you into the Templates folder. Notice that path. It's on the C drive and then several folders that the Templates folder is located in. And then we're going to just name this with last name here. You would actually put your name and then Summons, and I'm going to click on the Save As type. Should actually be a Word template at the bottom. Click on Word template there, and then you can choose Save, and that saves it as a template. Okay. Then they also want you to save it onto a flash drive or into a folder somewhere other than that templates folder. So again, if we go back to the File tab, choose Save As. This time we're going to go back. I'm just going to put it on my flash drive in my coursework folder that I've been saving everything into. That was the wrong place. And again, we're just going to keep it last name Summons, it's a Word template, and then save. So now we have it in 2 different locations. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, and then we're going to find that template on our C drive. If you go back to your File tab and choose Open, now we saved it, it's coming up here, but that's my flash drive. You can see that's found on the flash drive. So if you're looking for a template that's been created and saved on the flash drive or on the C drive, we actually go to the New tab. And the blank document, that's considered an available template that we use to create our Word documents. However, if we go to My Templates, you'll find Personal Templates area where it already has templates we just saved, and the last name summons is located there. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, and here we'll find the template that we created. And from here they want us to make some changes to this template, and we're actually going to use it and then save it as a document. And notice when we opened that up, it did say document 9, so it's not saying last name summons. It's not being used as a regular document. Okay, and then we're going to use the Find and Replace command, again under the Editing tab, Replace. We're going to go through and find name 1, and you're probably seeing this in the background here. Everywhere where there's a name 1, we want to replace that with Amy Garcia. Okay, and we'll just choose Replace All. There's 5 replacements there. We'll click OK to that. You'll see it here for sure. They also want us to replace name 2 with Neil Carlin. And again, replace all. Notice it's changing there. And then finally the word number. They want that replaced with C-98002. And again, replace all. One replacement's made. We'll kind of scroll through here. Should see Neil Carlin in a variety of places. There's Amy Garcia. Amy Garcia. Okay, so it went through. We were able to use that content. Now, when you're done with that, we could save this to our folder. Put it in my courseworks. And then we could say Amy and Neil. Okay, and that would be our new file. Then when we're done with it, we can close out of it. Now we're looking at another case. Still using the same content. If we go back to File and New, My Templates, Last Name Summons. Now we have the original file again, but we've got blank areas, name 1, name 2. Again, we can go through and do Find and Replace and put new names in this document, save it under a new name, and saves you tons of time. So Project Forge is kind of giving you an example of how you can use templates to be more efficient and also be very consistent on the terminology and on formatting that you're using in a variety of documents. The latter part of Project 4, they do want you to go through and delete these templates, and we're actually just going to delete the one that's on the C drive. And so to do that, we can just go back to the New area again, into My Templates, and then you're just going to click on the one that you want to delete, and I'm going to press the delete button. Actually, I should right click and delete. It says, are you sure you want to delete it? Yes. I may not delete it because I don't have it, or I have one open. Let me go ahead and close out of both of these. And then we'll go back to the New. My Templates, still clicking on it. I'm going to right click and choose delete. Are you sure you want to send it to the recycle bin? Yes. And now it's deleting it. And the problem initially was that I had a document that was based on that template open, and so it didn't like, or any file that you have open, it's not going to allow you to delete. Okay, so now it's gone. Can cancel out of that. And we're back to not having anything then in our template area on the C drive. Now I did not delete it off my flash drive, so it's still on the flash drive if I needed to pull that up.